What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on Draftkings for Tuesday, January 12th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to my sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comments section who are your favorite options on DK today. DK is crazy. They're including the Heat and Sixers game tonight, and we have no idea who's going to be available for it. Keep your eyes peeled because it's not out of the realm of possibility that this game gets scrapped. But if it is a part of the slate, be prepared to hear the names of some of the guys on the Heat. Let's look at the bottom of my top 10. Malcolm Brogdon, DeJounte Murray, Trey Lyles, Kelly Olynyk, and Tyler HERRO on the outside looking in. Who will be my top five, my favorites for Tuesday's slate? It's time to find out. Oh, brother, here we go. Okay, we're kicking it off with Gabe Vincent. Who is Gabe Vincent, you ask? He is like the backup to the backup's backup on the Miami Heat, one of 8 or 9 eligible players to play today. Vincent is a point guard, shooting guard, minimum salary option. I have him projected for 24 fantasy points. I have him playing 28 minutes. Yes, that's how shorthanded they are. At the minimum salary, if he does that, the goal is 32.5 fantasy points. I think he does that 13% of the time, but he's in the optimal 34% of the time because that's what happens when you're the minimum salary and you're going to play potentially 28 minutes. I don't have much more to add on Gabe Vincent. He is not a guy that plays a ton for the Miami Heat. Slight pace up spot against Philly on the surface. I have no concept of how quick Philly is going to be playing when they are playing as half of the Philadelphia 76ers. Both of these teams are perfectly set up to play each other tonight because we have no idea what's going on. But I can tell you this much. With the limited rosters and the way that the minutes need to be distributed, Gabe Vincent at the flat minimum is a guy that you cannot ignore. All right, this one's a little bit more my speed. Number 4, Duncan Robinson, somebody I can actually talk about. By the way, check out Duncan Robinson's podcast. Apparently it's new. I saw a tweet from, he did like an AMA on Reddit. I love Duncan Robinson. Good dude. Shooting guard eligibility, 4,800. I have him projected to play 38 minutes, giving him 32-point fantasy projection. The goal is 39. Does that 21% of the time. Optimal lineup, 36% of the time. A little bit of a usage bump, I guess, but, you know, we'll see. 18% usage for Robinson might give him a little bit more there. He's normally a 0.75 guy. Duncan Robinson is a fantasy player that does nothing but score. I think we could see a little bit more just because of how shorthanded they are. I give him the bump to 0.84 just for this game. Same sort of matchup against Philly. We have no idea who's going to be guarding Duncan Robinson. It's possible that it's Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, which is a little scary, but you can't turn your back on someone that's going to be playing potentially 38 minutes or even more. Duncan Robinson is going to shoot as much as he wants, and if he gets open looks, they're likely to go in. He's one of the best shooters in the NBA. And at 4,800, I don't even think you have to be all that worried. He's the guy that you need to look at right now, but we've got plenty more Heat to talk about. But first things first, we're switching over to the other bench, going TYRESE MAXEY, point guard eligibility, 5,500. I'm projecting him for 34. You need 41. He does that 27% of the time. He's in the optimal 36% of the time. I'm giving him 34 minutes still, even if Ben Simmons is back and you get the full freight from Simmons and Embiid and Danny Green, who was quite the bust yesterday. TYRESE MAXEY is the next guy in line. This is the guy that is going to be a part of the future for Philadelphia. So I'm still expecting the full run of minutes as if he's a starter. I'm giving him 34 minutes, increased usage 24%, 24 and 4 as a baseline. He doesn't do a lot more. Not a big rebounder, not a big assist guy, but he's basically a fantasy point per minute. And that's exactly where I want to be at 5,500. Easy value to find. 1/3 of the time you're going to get Maxey in the optimal. Didn't work out all that well for the Sixers last night, but tonight up against the shorthanded Heat, this game can go many directions, but Maxey's minutes seem pretty safe. Number 2, we're going to the Spurs, LaMarcus Aldridge, power forward center eligibility, which I think is huge. Him having that power forward spot really opens things up. That means you can get him in power forward, center, forward, and utility. An additional 2 spots compared to if he was just at center. That's why you see him so much higher on this list. Projected for 40. The goal is 44. He hits the goal 34% of the time. He hits the optimal 37% of the time. Aldridge is just a different player when DeMar DeRozan is not on the floor. He's going to be out again today. So I'm giving Aldridge 34 minutes, 28% usage, a 22-8 baseline projection. He's normally a 1.1 fantasy point per minute guy. That goes up to 1.2 when DeRozan is off the floor. So I want Aldridge in this spot. I'm not worried at all about Oklahoma City. Al Horford's good, but he's old, just like Aldridge. They could have like an old man battle. This would be like the seniors league of the NBA. He's just underpriced for what he has to do today. $6,300. It's not nearly enough salary. And in this particular case, Aldridge works whether you're going stars and scrubs or you're taking a more balanced approach, try to get a little different, because there's going to be infinite value on DraftKings if this Miami and the Philadelphia 76ers game stays on the slate. So if a lot of people are going stars and scrubs, maybe you want to go a little bit more balanced. That lends itself to LaMarcus Aldridge, but he works either way. That's enough to get him to number 2. Now, before we finish it off with my number 1 contender, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when it goes live, and follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. I'm only on the strategy show this morning with the boss man, Alex Baker. No live before lock, so I will be around at my desk posting updates. DK is going to lock a little bit earlier than FanDuel since FanDuel dropped the Heat and Sixers game. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll drop updates to my sims for both of them. And finally, my number 1 contender for the day, power forward and center eligibility, which I just explained is awesome. Oh God, I can't even say it. Precious Achiuwa. Man, that is not easy. Doesn't roll off the tongue. PA, can we get a nickname here? Does he have a nickname? Let me know in the comment section if Achiuwa has a nickname. I guess you just probably call him Precious. That's a pretty fun name. He's $3,100, so $100 above the minimum. Projected for about 26 fantasy points. Goal is 33. Hits the goal 17% of the time, and you can see he's in the optimal 41% of the time. I'm trying to give more minutes to the Heat guys that normally play. Achiuwa is one of those guys. I think you could see him at center. I think you could see him at power forward. I'm giving him 28 minutes. Not out of the realm of possibility that he plays more. This is a great spot to get the rookie some time. It's a 0.94 fantasy point per minute guy. Increased usage, so 23%. And it's an easy projection, 12.5 and 6.5. Done. Easy. Nothing crazy. This is a minutes play on a guy that is $100 above the minimum. It's the same sort of scenario for Gabe Vincent, only you feel a little bit better because Precious Achiuwa is a first-round draft pick and not, I have no idea if Gabe Vincent was drafted at all. He could be a first-rounder, a second-rounder, fully undrafted. I have no idea, but that's not Achiuwa. He's got the pedigree here. This is the spot. He's going to be massively owned on this slate if this game exists. I mean, this top 10 just changes completely if it ends up getting cut from the slate. But between Achiuwa, Duncan Robinson, Tyler HERRO, Kelly Olynyk, you can see all these names on the list. There's so much to like on the Heat because they're fully gutted. But Precious Achiuwa is the number 1 contender on DraftKings for Tuesday. And that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders for Tuesday, January 12th. Keep your eyes peeled. There's a link around here for the FanDuel version of this video. And once again, I will be back tomorrow for another edition of the Contenders. So good luck tonight, guys. I'll see you Wednesday morning.